let's go to damn lie number 4. This one is fascinating because, again, it's sort of counterintuitive. Praise builds self-confidence. Brian, can you pull up the quote? I love this quote so much. I might get it tattooed. Raising your child on a diet of praise, deference, and indulgence is like feeding them candy and cake for every meal. You'll end up with emotional diabetics, children too feeble to digest life's basic frustrations and difficulties. This is why every morning when I wake my son up, right before I punch him, I call him an idiot. I just want to again. This is good parenting.
Sound like a great dad.
This is one of those. It's illogical, but I think if every problem at this point has an illogical solution, because if logic was going to solve the problem, we would have figured it out by now. But too much praise starts to make these kids think that praise is both disingenuous and they start to look for constant outside approval. Is that what the general synopsis here?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's this idea that they just, first of all, that you can motivate and you can manipulate them by approval. But there's a couple deeper problems with praise, right? One is that it's based on an entirely flawed idea, which is that self-confidence and self-esteem is simply a cognitive idea that you have. And if you tell them the idea over and over again, like you repeat the multiplication over and over again, then they'll know it. Okay. And so there's this idea that if a child is told you can be anything you want, you're the most capable kid in class, you're the most beautiful, you're the smartest, you did great job over and over again, you're building one piece of two things that child knows. The first piece is what they should or what they could become. That's one circle. And then the other circle, which they know, is what they actually are. Mm-hmm. What they actually accomplish in the course of a day, what they're able to do. Confidence is only the space where those two circles cross over. It's that middle space. Do you keep the promises you make to yourself? Do the things you're capable of doing? I was thinking about this morning and I thought, 100 years ago, we were actually big on discipline, low on praise. And so children were having this strong ability and discipline, but not a strong sense of themselves. And that was a problem. But now we give tons of praise, no discipline. So those circles don't intersect. So you wonder why a kid is anxious and upset and constantly questioning themselves, or then feigning that they're really confident and then being very fragile. It's because those circles don't cross and that child knows that. Okay.
And the praise must at some point come against actual measurements. So at school, if you're always told you're the best by your parents, you go to school, you're not getting the grades other people are. Sports, same deal, where you're not the best player on the field. It must seem like what the hell's going on? I was told I was great my entire life. Now I'm in the real world. Things aren't that. That's going to cause some, it's got to be weird for a kid's mind to try to wrap around that idea.
Yeah, I had a kid come over during COVID. His parents, dropped him and his sister off just because we had a big yard there in an apartment. And he was always telling me he's a great chess player. I'm a great chess player. I'm a great chess player. He's 6 or something. And he says, are you a good chess player? I'm like, I'm average, but I'm probably great by 6-year-old standards, and let's play. I'm sure I can beat you because I've beaten my father, who's a lawyer, 200 times. He's only won once. So I play him chess, and about 5 minutes in, I realized, he's not a bad little chess player, but I'm going to beat him pretty solidly. That's all right.
Right.
And it takes about 10 minutes, and he's paying attention. He's working. His older sister starts jumping in and helping him, and I win. And because I think it's important. Right. Yes. Honestly. And he's shocked. He's stunned. It's like, the world has been turned upside down. And I said, dude, if you want to take a minute, I can kind of break down why I won. I don't think it's beyond your learning. We can figure, you're pretty good. No, I'll figure it out myself. And I'm like, well, no, I mean, it's no big deal. There was a lot of good stuff for a 6-year-old, but he was just devastated. Right. And I was like, wow, that lack of hierarchy will play over in school. It will create anxiety in the world. It creates an undue pressure on him. It's going to be a big letdown when he actually runs into things that don't work. That's the same thing with giving a trophy for everything. You know, it's like people who are letting their kids win over and over again. It's like they need to have curiosity about what they don't know. They need to have awe of the bigger version of themselves who parents them. And they need to be curious. And all those things in terms of learning and moving through the world break down when you're just dumping praise on them. You know, I don't have a problem with authentic praise, but you know.
My father never let me win at anything. As a matter of fact, I think he took great pleasure in destroying me. I don't think to this day, I don't think I've beaten him at anything. Eventually I will when he's dead, I suppose. But here's the other thing too about the trophy. Everybody gets a trophy generation, which I find sort of conceptually interesting. Every generation sort of hates the generation after them. Like they're not solely responsible for creating them. So my point about the trophies is like, adults are giving kids the trophies and then looking at the kids going, look at them with their stupid trophies. You know, it's like you baked the shitty cake and now you're crying about the quality of the cake. If you don't want, the kids haven't conceptualized, well, I should get a trophy. They don't even know what a fucking trophy is. You're giving that. It's like we're doing it and they go, oh, look at these little shitheads. You are creating them. Stop doing that. You know? I don't know.